We're in Alaska, and today we're in Skagway. Hi, Michelle here from Travelling Over 60. Come join me on this adventure. Well, we have certainly ticked off a lot of boxes. We're done in Juneau, and now we're moving on. It's time to get the map out. Now, we left Juneau about 11 o'clock. It was still daylight though, and we've headed up to Skagway. So here we are. Let's look at what we did in Skagway. Now, I'm up early like most mornings, and I decided to sit on the balcony. Just sitting in the balcony, watching the world go by. As always, I'm still looking for bears, but there was lots of waterfalls along the way, and the scenery was just amazing. And then, welcome to Skagway. Now, as you can see, there's a few ships in, so I can't say where you will be docked, but I'm going to show you where our ship, the Koningsdam, docked on the day we were on it. But first, let's check the weather. So it's 6 degrees, and today we had on jeans, our woolly socks. We did put our walking shoes on because we weren't quite sure where we were going and what we were doing. We had a long sleeve t-shirt, a jumper, and our jackets on, but we still remembered to pack that hat and scarf in our backpacks. I'm going to show you the getting onto the dock from my veranda because I think it's a lot easier to show you the incline. So once we dock, we're still docking, they'll put out the gangway and you'll be able to walk onto that dock. You can see it's pretty flat, it's all the way, and then there's that ramp that goes all the way up to the top, up into like where that car park is. So it's fairly steep, but I'm sure that you should be okay if you just take your time. Once you get up that big ramp, then it's just like a boardwalk sort of a dock, and you've just got to follow the signs, make your way into town. There's not too many vendors that are there around the dock selling, but I think there will be in town. I'll let you know when we get there. You can get a shuttle. It's at a cost of $5 as at May 2024, but I think it's just walking distance. We're going to try and walk it. Now I just want to give you a different look at that ramp and the dock. Now continuing on into town, but on the side here, this made me feel very excited. This is the White Pass train. Now, lots of people will recommend that you do that train trip when in Skagway. And of course, there's a few that you can choose from. And we have booked to do one of them at 10:15. But keep watching for that. That's coming up. Now we came off what looked like a boardwalk and got onto concrete, but there's chunks of concrete missing, so look, most of the path is pretty good. But one thing, call me old, call me crazy, I hope this isn't our tour bus. I don't think I can get up there. Walking into town, so this is how far we are. We've gotten off the ship, we went up the ramp, we've walked along what looks like a boardwalk, it's planks. Then we've come on this little concrete bit over to here, and we're still going up this way, and the town is this way. So far we've walked about approximately 10 minutes. Now we kept walking just a little bit further. We came across another sign, and we're going to go up here. But if you want to go over that way, which I think is another part of town, you have to cross over the railway line just here and then walk on a bit of gravel till you get to the path. But we're going to go this way, see what there is, and if we have time before we have to join our tour, We might go down there and see what's down there. Now here's the White Rail Pass for people doing that. Now there is that other one near where our cruise ship is. At this stage, I'm not exactly sure which one's which and which one we're going on. Bit of a gutter here, but it does slope down a bit. Making sure we're not getting run over, but this did take us into where the town is, and we will have to cross over the railway line here. Hopefully no trains. That would be a hazard. And we're going to keep walking up here. Oh look, I think this is the first tour of the day. Let's watch. It's a pretty long train, but it's a very popular tour. They do a few different styles. They do just straight up, straight back. They do one that goes halfway up, that takes you into the Yukon, and then you can come back by coach and do a few other things, which is what we'll be doing. And there's another one that takes you up even further than where we're going to be going. And there we go, that's how long it was. So it's taken us about 15, maybe 20 minutes to get this far. So if you've got that much time, you can even just come down, have a quick look at this before you go on your tour. Now we're going to cross over the railway lines here again. No trains. But it's a cute little historical town. We walk through the little train building. There's a cafe, a shop. Even if you've lost your sunglasses or forgotten them, they sell sunglasses. Okay, we're back on the other side of the town now, which is just as cute. I'm giving you a quick one. You really do need to come here and see this. This is amazing. I can't show you enough. Now, if you haven't booked on an excursion in Skagway, there is plenty to see. You can come and wander around the town, and there's even this amazing sign where you can have a selfie in front of it. But we took different photos this time. Take a look. Oh dear, the things I asked my husband to do. But he's a good sport. Now it's nearly time for our excursion, so we're going to make our way back to the pier. Today we're doing the Best of Skagway, Rail, Salmon Bake and Saloon. Now don't forget to check your ticket. Remember, your ticket has everything written on it. It'll tell you what time you're meeting, where the meeting point is, and don't forget to check if you need your passport. For us, we needed it. Now our tickets say meeting point is at the end of the pier parking. So that was right at the top of where that ramp was. Once we headed over there, there was lots of signs along that pier. So we just found our sign and we lined up there and waited till they came and checked our name off. For us, we're going to be doing the coach part first, which will be up to Liarsville, our salmon bake, and then we'll make our way back for the rail and the saloon will come last. Okay, our names are marked off. We head over to the coach, get on, and then we're heading out of town. Now, we had a guide with us who told us stories on the way up to Liarsville, and before we knew it, we had arrived. Here we are in Liarsville. Now, when we arrived, it was a little unorganised. Even our guide didn't know where we were going. So we started off by just taking a little bit of a wander around. Let me show you what the ground's like. So it's fairly flat, but there is tree roots around and rocks. So you need to be really careful that you don't trip on those. Now there's plenty of people around, staff, that are in character, and they were really good. But again, there was no guidance. We didn't know if we were meant to be sitting down for a show or going gold panning. We just had to wander around and work it out for ourselves. Now, here's where my confusion came in. The people that were around in character were fantastic. The little tents that we went and had a look at were fantastic as well. But they had split us into two groups, but they didn't tell us where to go. They did tell us some would be gold panning and some would see a show. And then there was the gold panning. It was just in these tubs. Finally, someone took control and sent us into the show. But then they called us out and sent us for gold panning. But now we're back at the show. Oh boy. But look, the show is a bit corny, but it was still entertaining. Oh, okay, let's get back to the more practical things. Was there a bathroom there? This is it. I suppose you'd call this an outhouse. Now, it was wooden steps up onto that platform. That was a bit of a hazard, so watch your step. Okay, and a bit of a look at the gift store. That's the gift store. We went in and had a very quick look, but we didn't have much time. Because they'd wasted so much time with the to and fro, it was time for us to go across for our salmon bake. And I've got to say, that was a letdown. Hi everyone, I thought we'd just chat about lunch. Now, I did not take any video. There was a lot of people there. So we'd gone in and our tour started at 10:15. So by the time we had a bit of a wander around, it was about 11:30. And it was our turn to go over for our salmon bake portion of our tour. Now there was other coaches that come in and they did the salmon bake part before they came across and did the gold panning and the show. So they'd been there since really early. I suppose for them it was like brunch, maybe. So we went across. Now, like I say, there was a lot of people had gone before us. They had picked over the salad and the salad did not look very nice at all. It was just basic salad, but we kept saying, you know, it's just a lot of people they're trying to cater for. So then we came across to where the salmon was. Well, I was not impressed with that. It was a small square of salmon and then they cooked it up and then just put it into a tray. It was dry. I didn't like it at all. I would have been better just going to a restaurant in the town and ordering a meal there. But again, it was part of the tour, so we just went along with it. Then there was no organisation. Nobody said to us, just go along, take your salad, get your salmon, and then go and find anywhere to sit. We didn't know where we're sitting in sections or whatever. We just went along. We sat down anywhere on the trestle tables. And the smoke, because they were cooking the salmon bake there, the smoke just filled the air. So be prepared for that. If you're an asthmatic or something, there is a lot of smoke around because they're cooking salmon. Anyway, we sat down, we ate, and we just went on. Like, we try not to let anything upset our holiday. But like I say, I didn't video it because I wasn't impressed. And so we ate lunch and then we just got back on the coach and we're going to head back down to do the next part of the trip. Now, while I've got your attention, are you liking my videos? I know if you're following me, you've heard me say this before, but if you are liking the video, don't forget, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe to my channel because today we're in Skagway, but tomorrow is Glacier Bay. Now, I try to keep everything really positive, but I'm going to give a really harsh review. When we went here, we were early in the season, so maybe they were still trying to work things out. But based on my visit to Liarsville, I was really glad to leave. Would I go back again? No. Would I recommend it to anyone? No. Did I have a nice time? I did. We try not to let anything ruin our holiday. Okay, enough of that. Let's move on over to the White Pass Rail. Now, when we booked this trip, it was advertised White Pass and Yukon Route Railway. Remember, it's on an old-fashioned rail car. It's bumpy and you get rattled around a little bit, but that's the fun of it. And then once we got to the top, we then got off the train and went and got onto a motor coach that then took us all the way back to Skagway where we go to the saloon. So let's have a little bit of a look at that. Let's start by having a look at the train. Now, this is one of many trains. They all look very similar, but there's lots of trains go. Taking a look here, you can see there is steps that you're going to have to walk up. Then you walk onto a metal grate so that you can walk across to where the door is. Now, be careful, there's a bit of a ramp there as well. Now, you won't be using that ramp, it's for the guards, but it's right in the way where you walk, so you might trip on it. And as you can see, there's a chain, and that's stopping you from crossing over to the other carriage. Now, here's a bit of a tip. If you can, go right to the front and get a seat at the front, because then you'll have a bit more leg room. Now, taking a look at the seat, this is what the seat looks like. And this is what the heater looks like. We were lucky enough to be sitting right in front of the heater. Trust me, I was glad that I was sitting there because it was cold. Now, once you're settled in your seat, the train guard comes on board, and of course he's in character. He was a lot of fun. And don't forget, there's always time for a selfie. We were really lucky. The train wasn't very full, so we could go from one side to the other to get the different views. Now, lots of people ask, which is the best side? Well, you're going to see different things on both sides. Keep in mind, these carriages were only small, so if you're on one side and there's something to see out the other side, just turn your head and look out the other window. Now you're going to see lots of mountains. That was out the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, we also saw some amazing waterfalls coming down the mountain. So for us, we were on the left-hand side, and yes, it had some great views. Now, we had commentary all the way as well. They have speakers in the carriages, and they're telling you what the different things are that you're seeing outside the window. If you really want to, you can go outside onto that little platform and get some video or photos from out there. But let me warn you, it was cold out there. And you're going to get some amazing opportunities of taking photos of the train. And some of them might be of the other trains coming back down the mountain. And they're directly opposite where you are, so you can get a great photo. And of course, there's the photo of it going round the bend. Now, it goes round bends in a few different places. Now, these photos, I've taken them from out on the platform. I stood out there for quite a long time. I took hundreds of photos, but I did want that photo of the train curving round the bend. And going over the bridge, you might see there we're going over this bridge. That was pretty exciting when we did that. And actually, they slowed right down so that we could take photos. Now, I was lucky while I was standing out there. The train was coming the other way, and I got to get that photo as well. And we did go through a tunnel where it got really dark, but they'll warn you of that. Now, as we start to go further and further up, we notice the scenery changing, and it was amazing. Oh, there's that word again. But there was these huge mountains, and we started to see the snow. And more snow means the temperature starts to drop. It was cold. So hopefully you've put on some warm clothes. Remember, layers. And they are going to slow down when we come across things of interest so that you can go either outside or just through the window and take a photo. Now, I was really excited to see how thick the snow got because remember, I'm from Australia and we are nowhere near where the snow is. I only see it on TV. Hang on a minute. Is that footprints in the snow? Call me crazy, call me old, just tell me I watch too much TV. Do they belong to Bigfoot? Oh wow, look at the blue water there. We did see a few spots where the snow had melted and we could see that beautiful blue water. And as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. We finally made it to the top. Now, we left Alaska and crossed over into Canada. So remember at the beginning of the video I said, bring your passport. When we got to the top and were about to get off the train, they had us sit in the train and wait. And then customs came through and yes, they did check our passports. They went through, checked, and then we could get off the train. And we got off the train and onto a coach. But there's still opportunities when you're on the coach to be able to take a selfie. I think my selfies are getting out of control. Oh, and this one. I just took this one so you could see the coach. I'm not sure about that. Now the coach makes its way down the Klondike Highway and there's still plenty to see as you go down. They stop for photo opportunities where they can, and then you finally get to see all those ships that are in port. Okay, we've made it back to Skagway and now we're off to do the final part of our tour, the Red Onion Saloon. And finally, my husband is really happy to do something that he has an interest in. Oh, stop it. I meant history and saloons. Now, if you just happen to be wandering around the town and you're looking for somewhere to go, you can go into the Red Onion Saloon and get a drink, or you can get some food there. But you also can book a brothel tour, $20, 20 minutes. And it was really a lot of fun. I was glad that we did this. Now, of course, the staff, they're all in character, but the history behind the brothel was really interesting, even to the fact of they showed us this red light that was the original red light. And there's a story about these dolls, but I'm not going to tell you. That's going to be for you to find out on your adventure. After our tour ended, we still had time where we could wander around and have a look at the shops. Now, some people stayed in the saloon and got a drink and something to eat, but I prefer to do some shopping. And look at this little gem that I found. Yup, it's fudge. Now, if you've been following along on my Canada trip as well, you would know I've been trying fudge all over Canada, but this fudge was the best of all. I think I bought one of every flavour. They did let me try some before I went crazy and bought all that fudge, but it was the best fudge I have ever had. I'm still dreaming of it. Now, if you're like me and you love fudge, then don't miss this one. But you have to walk right to the end of town to find it. Now, we've had a really big day and we're heading back to the ship for dinner and a well-earned drink. I think it'll be an early night for us as well because tomorrow is Glacier Bay. So what did you think of the train ride? Hopefully you liked it. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up if you did. Now let's talk about my next video. So today was in Skagway and tomorrow is Glacier Bay. Glacier Bay is a whole day of amazing. So you don't want to miss that. Now hopefully if you're following me, you've subscribed to my channel already. But if you haven't subscribed, why not? Doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me out heaps. So go across, subscribe to my channel, and ring the notification bell. You only need to ring that notification bell just once. And if you do, you will be notified each time I put up a video. And that way you won't miss any, because you don't want to miss any of these videos. And I also want to say thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate it. By you liking my videos, making comments, and subscribing to my channel, that helps me out heaps. I just had a notification yesterday saying more people are liking your video, and that came from YouTube, so that's great. That's my aim, is to help people. So thanks so much for your support.